Hey, what's up, guys? I felt like this would be a very good learning lesson on, following the rules. I want to go over the stocks I traded today. Um, the first one I traded was TNON, but I want to go to the stats. So those of you that are, been working with me for a while, you guys know my red flag criteria. I don't like anything that's under 5 million float personally. It doesn't mean I won't trade it. It just means that it's not worth my full size. Didn't have SSR, which is good. Low short float, low institutional ownership, awesome. And it's negative money on cash. Plus, it's got 7 gaps and 6 of them close red. So everything I like except for the float. I'm not a huge fan of float, but like I said, I have my own red flag criteria. This is my own preference. But so what I was looking for was this thing to pop up. This is in pre-market. I'm looking for it to do like a stuff move here because it is not ideal. I only went in with partial size. I think I went in with like realistically, I probably went in with like a tenth of the size that I normally. I usually full size. I'm in probably like a tenth of that. But I can still make a decent amount of money if it fades. And so I take a trade. I'm risking the high. It pops up. I cover. I'm out. When it goes back down and pops back up, I can't break over this. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take another stab at this. I took a trade, and I got filled at I believe is like 468 ish. Then this thing fades all the way down to like 430s. So I'm up like 38 cents on my size, which is that's a good payday. But it starts curling, and then the 8 o'clock volume comes in, and I mean you start seeing the tape just go crazy, and I was like, dude, I think this is gonna rip through here. And so for me, I was already planning another trade on the fake break of this or at 5. I want to see how the price reacted at those levels. I got shaken out, and then it just tanked. It literally popped right back through this level and then stuffed out, and I got distracted for literally like a split second, and I missed it. I was like, dude, oh man. And so honestly, I feel like it kind of pissed me off because, like I said, if I would have covered, at least a partial down here, like that would have been something, a little padding in pre-market. But then the next thing you know, PVLY, I think it was. No, PLBY. Okay, so it opens over here, right? And I'm literally just sitting here, bored out of my freaking mind. And then the next thing you know, I decided that I might as well message the guys. I'm like, hey, you guys, don't be just jumping into random trades. That don't try to force things when there isn't anything there, and throwing your money away on BS crap. And then I saw people were talking about MDXG. I looked at the stats really fast. 61% institutional ownership. I was like, dude, leave this shit alone. Don't be wasting your money. That's at 943, right? So then 943 is literally right here. So I'm already watching this thing because it did this. And for me, and for those of you that actually are working with me and follow the stuff that I teach, I always talk about floors, right? Well, for me, that's a fake breakdown of the floor, and for me, that's a signal that, hey, there could potentially be a squeeze or move up. And so once I saw that, I was already watching this thing. So I see this come up. It looks like it's forming another little curl. The volume spiked up, super low volume. I was like, man, I think this thing's going to curl and it's going to give you a move. The problem with this is, once again, when I start teaching, this has really it has no range at all. Like this is like 415, and this is like damn near just under $1. So for 15 cents, and once again, if I go to the stats on this thing, PBLY, I believe it was PLBY. Jesus Christ. If you look at the stats, okay, good. Awesome float, 51 million float. I love that. No SSR, love that. Short float is good. It's under 30%. Institutional ownership, 36%. I don't like that. Insider ownership. That's another thing that there's a lot of people that disagree with me. They say that insider ownership doesn't matter at all. But for me, if you look at that, that means that like 66% of that is taken up by somebody else. And another thing is, still got 3 gap stats. 2 of them close green. Yes, it's behind on money, but 3 gaps, 2 close green, not ideal stats. Honestly, I should have been logging off for the day. I should not have taken any trades today. I said that to my students, and then I go ahead and I get sucked into a trade. And, this thing, I trade this like 414, and I get stopped out. It didn't, the volume starts coming in. I got stopped out higher than I wanted to. This should have been my stop. It's not a huge difference, but it's 2 cents, 2 cent slippage. Not a huge deal. But like I said, once again, for those that know the way that I trade, this is not a trade. This is definitely not A+ setup. And that's another thing I want to go back to is, I'm trading all this with full size for whatever the freaking reason. And so, for me, that is a huge no-go. Like, maximum size on, like, an A+ setup for me, should have been maximum half size. That's the way that I prefer to do it. That's how my style is. But, for me, this would be, like, a scalp trade. It'd be like pre-market where I'm trading with 1/10 of the size that I normally trade with. For whatever reason, I went in full size on this thing, and this is going to be my stop. And obviously, I got some slippage on this. That stop should have been at 125. I ended up getting stopped out at 131. That's 6 cents. That's a big deal. You start using bigger size. That 6 cents is enough to do some damage. Out of all these trades, though, the only place that I should have been using full size on half size should have been here, and if I got in right in on this stuff candle right here, that would have been the only ideal situations. But which I technically did. I got in on the previous one. I didn't get the best fill, and I remember being like, man, I literally got the worst fill ever. That's kind of how it goes when you send the bid and you're trying to get filled really quick on a low price stock. It's pumping out a shit ton of volume. I mean, you're playing with fire. So I take bigger loss than I want to. This never should have been a freaking trade, honestly. I had way too big of a stop. This is a good trade, but once again, it starts curling up. I did cut it off. in the money, which is good. I had the good stuff move. I had a horrible fill, but then it wasn't reacting right. And I remember like watching it, and literally like a second before I covered, I was going to cover right here. I was like, dude, this is not acting the way that it should be acting. Pumping out this kind of volume. I was like, it's not working. I went to cover, and right when I covered, it just ripped, and I was like, dude, and I left it alone. It was definitely not a good day for me at all. I thought that there was another trade later on in the day that gave a good setup. Yeah, I don't like that either. I wouldn't have traded this. Maybe it was this. Maybe it was this curl right here that I was looking at, and I was just like, dude, that's the trade right there. For some reason, I thought this pop was like over in here somewhere, but either way, like this is a good trade. So that's how I should have traded it. I didn't follow my rules. I sized in too big, and I really believe that comes from my overconfidence. I've been on a like absolute win streak lately, and I don't know. I think that it was time for me to just like, okay, dude, hey, you've been sizing up. Like just chill out for a little bit and get back to the basics. And I feel like that's something that it's been a common theme in my trading throughout my the 6 years I've been trading for. I'll have a hot streak and then I'll get hit and I'm like, okay, all right, I need to like reel things back in. The good thing is the loss from today is nothing I can't make back on like a mediocre green day. So it's not the fact of the money. It's the fact that I broke the rules, and whenever I do that kind of stuff, I need to make sure that I'm keeping myself like in line and in check. So I wanted to share this with you guys, and hopefully you guys learned from it. I know there's a lot of people out there that sorry, we have a bunch of trick-or-treaters coming by. So but I know that a lot of people that teach or whatever, they have nothing but like green years, and it's like yeah, that's cool. Well, I want to be completely transparent. I want to, I don't know, share my journey, and I'm a human, and I've only been training for 6 years, so I know that that's a pretty long time, and I'm doing good, and I'm a good trader. It's just I'm still human. I still screw up, and I think that I don't know, when you start making good money, it can sometimes go to your head a little bit, and I think that's exactly what happened to me. It kind of reminds me of kickboxing, where I would go on these tears, and I would start doing good, and I was running every day. I was dieting, and I started winning a lot of fights, and then I would start getting a little bit lazy. I'd stop running. I'd stop eating so good. I would stop doing the things that made me the champion that I was. And then I'd lose a fight that I shouldn't have lost. Exactly like this. It's literally exactly the same stuff. And it's really crazy because I remember sometimes my coach, dude, what the hell happened? Like, I don't know. It's the same exact thing in trading. It really is like I just lost a fight that I never should have fought because I never should have been in this. Never should have been trading this. But that's who I am, and I feel like that's gonna be something in 40 years from now when I'm posting charts. I'm like, oh god damn it, I knew I should have done that, and I don't know. So yeah, it sucks, and for those guys out there that are going through some hard times and you're kicking yourself down, like, yeah, dude, like you need to like learn from this. And there's so many people that especially like some of my students that are in multiple different rooms, and you hear the same thing. Oh, tomorrow's another day, or it's not the end of the world. It's like, it is though. You're never going to achieve your dream if you don't learn how to. You're never going to get rid of your emotions. But like I said, I've been on a long streak or I've been doing really, really good, and this is the first, little hiccup. But I know what to do now to where the little hiccup doesn't turn into like a long run of bad trades and stuff. And that's what you guys need to figure out, and start learning how to work with yourself. So I hope that this helps you guys out. I hope you guys found some value from this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.